Coming up in this edition of the 2018 FIFA World Cup Magazine, we're at the Confederations Cup Draw. We remember the 2003 final with former referee Valentin Ivanov. And we take the trophy on tour with Brazil's beast, Julio Baptista.
Hi everyone, I'm Елена Исенбаева. Welcome to the FIFA Confederation Cup. I'm looking forward to seeing you all here in Russia.
Late November bore witness to the official draw for the FIFA Confederations Cup 2017, an important milestone on the long road to the 2018 FIFA World Cup here in Russia. Staged in Kazan, one of the tournament's 4 host cities, the draw attracted some familiar faces, including a number of coaches who will lead their charges at next summer's competition. The brainchild of Saudi Arabia, who first staged this Intercontinental Championship in 1992, the tournament was eventually adopted by FIFA in 1997. The 2017 event will be the 10th edition of a competition which is now held every 4 years in the country that is preparing to host the FIFA World Cup. Months in the planning, the draw was a lively and colourful affair and gave the world a glimpse of what to expect from this diverse nation, both in 2017 and during the main event 12 months later. 7 teams will join the hosts, Russia, in the Tournament of Champions, and we'll have all the news and reaction from the draw itself later in the programme. As part of the activities surrounding the draw for the FIFA Confederations Cup, each of the 4 host cities had displays promoting their cities and stadiums. For the draw's host, Kazan, these activities included a tour of the Kazan Arena by FIFA President Gianni Infantino and a number of other dignitaries. One of the 12 stadia that will take centre stage during the main event in 2018, the venue will host 4 matches at the Confederations Cup, including the first semi-final on the 28th of June. Completed in 2013, the stadium is the jewel in Kazan's sporting crown and has already hosted a number of major international events, including the Summer Universiade and the FINA Swimming World Championships.
The stadium here is home to Rubin Kazan, who've played in the UEFA Champions League and Europa League and are an established Premier League club. It's a modern stadium with a capacity of around 45,000. In the last 15 to 20 years, Kazan has undergone a lot of development. It's now the 3rd largest tourist capital in Russia, and it has become an innovation centre for both sport and culture. But the city's most captivating aspect is its cultural and historic heritage. This is one of the Muslim capitals of our country. There's a wonderful synergy of different cultures and historical treasures within its walls. It's a wonderful city, which I think those who will visit it will fall in love with and want to keep coming back to.
Along with visiting the stadium and the surrounding sites, the delegation also unveiled a countdown clock on the banks of the Kazanka River.
До старта чемпионата мира по футболу. Раз, два, три. Ну что ж, мы получили наконец-то понимание.
Despite the challenging weather conditions, the ceremony also saw former Russian captain Sergei Semak announced as an official ambassador for the 2018 FIFA World Cup, a fitting tribute to a player who led Rubin Kazan to 2 Russian Premier League titles. When it comes to the 2003 edition of the FIFA Confederations Cup, one incident cast a long shadow over the tournament. In 2003, Cameroon were the competition's surprise package, and in Marc-Vivien Fo, they had a world-class player. The midfielder had driven them to victory over reigning world champions Brazil en route to a semi-final showdown with Colombia. played at the Stade de Gerland in Lyon, he was his usual combative self as Cameroon took an early lead through Pius Ndefi before tragedy struck. Shortly after half-time, Marc-Vivien Fo collapsed near the centre circle. It was later confirmed that the midfielder had suffered from a hereditary heart condition that made him susceptible to sudden death during physical exercise. He was just 28 years old.
It was a shock. Any death is a tragedy. And considering what had happened, that a healthy man had died on the pitch, I don't know. It's hard to put it into words. Even though I wasn't at the game, the reaction was the same from everyone. Players, referees, fans, whoever they were, wherever they were.
One of Russia's most experienced referees, Valentin Ivanov, was given the task of taking charge of the final between Cameroon and France 3 days after Fo's death. Held at the Stade de France, the match was an emotionally charged occasion, with players on both teams touched by the tragedy.
I remember the situation affected everything, both the players and the match itself. There was a lot of respect amongst the teams, and the game was played at a much calmer level than you'd have normally expected. Undoubtedly, this was due to the tragedy that had happened. That said, both teams wanted to win, and I wanted to do my job as the referee as best I could.
Henry's got in, he's got all the way, and France are going to win the Confederations Cup. They have retained it.
After the game ended, everyone's thoughts turned back to Marc-Vivien Fo. The players' reactions showed that they were just normal people, regardless of the fact that they were professional sportsmen who normally strive for victory and earned lots of money. They were just like everyone else. They showed that some things are far more important than winning and losing. For me personally, I look back on my career with great fondness. I think as a referee I did a good job, regardless of the many challenging situations that presented themselves. And when it comes to that particular match, it's part of my life. And it was hard, but I try not to make a big deal of it.
At the draw, the man given the honour of presenting the FIFA Confederations Cup trophy on stage to the world was Brazil's Julio Baptista. The 35-year-old forward played in 3 tournaments, winning the prestigious title twice, and made his debut for the Seleção at the 2001 edition.
Of course, each tournament is different. Over time, the competition has changed. I remember the first one I went to. We had a mixed team of experienced and younger players like myself. Leão was the coach, and it was where I made my debut for the national team. Out of the others I went to, the 2005 tournament, which we won by defeating Argentina, was great, because we had a really strong squad. It was amazing. We had some of the best players in the world, and we controlled the competition from beginning to end. I think the match against Argentina is my favourite Confederations Cup memory, because they have always had a huge rivalry with Brazil. They believed they could win that game, and they came into it with that bit of arrogance Argentinians have. So at the end, seeing our opponents looking up at our victory, and us, Brazilians, looking at the Argentinians below, realizing we had managed to win the title, was an incredible feeling. Then, of course, the last one I played in when we beat the United States to become champions. That was another strong team. To win one Confederations Cup is difficult, so to have won it twice is something very special.
Aside from presenting the trophy on stage in Kazan, Baptista embarked on a tour of the other 3 host cities, showcasing the trophy to journalists and both current and former players, as well as fans across Russia.
I am very pleased and very happy to be a part of the Confederations Cup today. Not as a player, but more in an institutional way, helping to promote the competition. The Confederations Cup is a huge event, and being able to present the trophy to everyone and show it off is great. I think it's something any player would be happy to do.
To meet Julio today was very interesting. He's a very joyful person who's always smiling, which I really like. I think it's something that's inherent in all Brazilians. And to be able to listen and talk to a player who's had such a spectacular career for both Brazil and Real Madrid is important to me.
With his experiences at 3 Confederation Cup tournaments, Baptista is well placed to judge the teams that will contest the 2017 competition.
I think Portugal, coming off their victory at the Euros, have great potential to have a fantastic Confederations Cup. I think we will see a very motivated Cristiano Ronaldo, because it's a competition he hasn't won yet, and no doubt he'll want to win it. There's also Germany, who are a team that always produces. Like previous German teams, they'll have great players and play great football. And then I also think Chile will do well, because they've been playing well in qualifying. They are a good team with a strong squad, and they've won the last 2 Copa Americas. I think these 3 teams, from my point of view, are the ones to look out for.
With kick-off fast approaching, time will tell if any of the teams Baptista mentioned lift the prestigious trophy. But there'll be little doubt that all the players participating in the Tournament of Champions will be hoping to taste the same success as Brazil's beast. One player who'll be looking to make his mark on the FIFA Confederations Cup 2017 is a rising star of the Russian game.
Alexey Miranchuk. Born 17th October 1995. Position midfielder. I play for Lokomotiv and Russia.
Originally from Slaviansk-na-Kubani in southern Russia, Alexey, along with his twin brother Anton, are both on the books of Lokomotiv Moscow, where Alexey is a key member of the first team.
When I was younger, I didn't really think about my future. I simply enjoyed playing the game. Growing up, my brother and I's favourite player was Ronaldinho. First of all, we supported Barcelona, and secondly, how could you not like a player like Ronaldinho? He clearly enjoyed what he was doing. He was always smiling. Everything he did was beautiful, and for the fans. All we wanted to do when we watched him was to run out to the pitch afterwards and try to recreate his moves.
The Russian Premier League's Young Player of the Year in 2014, his performances this season have seen him become a regular fixture in the Russian national team under head coach Stanislav Cherchesov.
To play for my country is something that makes me very proud. Honestly, it's very hard to describe how it makes me feel. To put on the shirt, to run out onto the pitch and simply give your all, to make the whole of Russia happy, to show them that we can deliver the result and put a smile on their faces. It's unbelievable.
The upcoming Confederations Cup and the 2018 FIFA World Cup will mark the biggest opportunity the 21-year-old has faced in his short career to date, but they're one he's eagerly anticipating.
The two tournaments are a big celebration for football in Russia, for every citizen of the country, for football lovers everywhere. It's fantastic that I may be involved. If I am, I'm confident that we'll put on a good show.
In early December, International Volunteers Day was celebrated across Russia to highlight the important role the volunteers have in staging the FIFA Confederations Cup 2017 and the 2018 FIFA World Cup.
I wanted to volunteer because it's an excellent opportunity to take part in a unique event.
Volunteering for me means sharing new experiences, meeting new people coming from different countries.
To date, the 2018 FIFA World Cup volunteer programme has broken the record for the number of applications in the tournament's history. Around 160,000 have been received from both within Russia and internationally. And in Kazan, some of these volunteers were front and centre at the FIFA Confederations Cup Draw.
When we consider the role of the volunteers in staging events like the Confederations Cup and World Cup, it's easy to underestimate their impact on the tournaments. They're the ones who help create the event's feeling of celebration. Here at the Confederations Cup Draw, I can already see that we are creating a family atmosphere among the volunteers. There are volunteers from all 11 host cities, and we have a number of foreign ones too, who have come from the USA, Portugal, France, and all of them are working well together.
The life of a volunteer is interesting because you meet lots of people, some of whom become your friends for life.
An important part of the volunteers' process is the training. Before any event, whether it's the draw or something similar, we hold mandatory training sessions with all the volunteers. In my opinion, the experience the volunteers gain at an event is very important. It helps develop their skills and communication, gives them a level of responsibility, and teaches them to conduct themselves in a professional manner. In the past, we've seen examples of volunteers who, having been part of a large event, have gone on to secure employment thanks to the career development they had as a volunteer.
With the Tournament of Champions set to kick off in June and the final draw scheduled for later in the year, 2017 looks set to be a busy year for the volunteers. And so to the official draw for the FIFA Confederations Cup 2017, in which 7 of the 8 coaches were present. Africa's Cup of Nations will conclude in Gabon on the 5th of February, and only then will we know the identity of the 8th competing nation and the coach who'll lead them in Russia in June. Rehearsals are essential for events such as these, and present throughout most of the preparations was the man leading the 2018 local organising committee.
For us, this tournament is very important. It's not just about beautiful football and the best teams from around the world. It's also an opportunity for us to test our readiness, to test our services, and try out some innovations with regard to our preparations for the World Cup. Therefore, for us, this will be a good measuring stick of our capabilities.
Among those present at the city's tennis academy were a number of celebrities from various walks of Russian life. They would assist FIFA's Deputy Secretary-General of Football, Zvonimir Boban, and Competitions and Events Chief Officer Colin Smith in conducting the draw, which would feature the hosts, Russia, world champions Germany, the champions of Oceania, New Zealand, CONCACAF's Mexico, Australia as Asian Cup winners, Copa America victors Chile, European champions Portugal, and the as yet unknown African champions.
To be involved in this is great, because the overall objective of those taking part in the Confederations Cup Draw and subsequently in the organisation of the actual tournament and of the World Cup is to showcase Russia, to attract more people to visit our country and for them to see our Russian soul, because Russia is a very hospitable country. We love and know how to make our guests feel welcome.
Whilst everyone will want to look their best come June 2017, for the coaches it's an opportunity to try out new and fringe players, tinker with tactics, and most importantly, acclimatise oneself to the conditions that will be prevalent in 2018. But that's in the future. For now, it was time to find out who they would face in 2017.
Germany. This is Germany's third appearance in the FIFA Confederation Cup.
The draw was broadcast live around the world, and there were a large number of media representatives covering proceedings in Kazan.
The best of luck to the teams, and we look forward to welcoming you back in Russia on the 17th of June for the opening match of the FIFA Confederations Cup.
So the hosts in New Zealand will open proceedings in St. Petersburg, with Portugal and Mexico completing the lineup in Group A. That leaves Germany, Chile, Australia and the African champions to contest Group B.
It's difficult to say if there will be any easy games. The last European Championship showed that there are no weak teams, and we'll prepare for each opponent. New Zealand is our opening match, and it's important for us to make a good start.
One thing's for sure, we are not coming here to take part and just enjoy the tournament. We're coming here to win games and to compete against the bigger teams and cause a few upsets and make the country proud. So there's nothing else on our mind. We're not here to just enjoy the tournament. We want to come here and get some results.
I think the Confederations Cup is a very important tournament because it is part of our preparations for the World Cup that will take place here. It allows us to get to know some of the stadiums, the people in Russia, and test ourselves against some interesting teams. I think Chile, the South American champions, are probably the most difficult opponents in our group.
We're very happy with the draw. It's a good opportunity. It will give us the chance to play against teams we don't normally face, and amongst those teams are the world champions, Germany. That matchup is probably the one with the most prestige. We're confident we will be able to compete and that we'll play each match with the same intensity. That is one of our goals.
With 16 matches scheduled in 4 host cities, the Tournament of Champions looks set to be a big hit in Russia.